Good morning, one and all. I, Dr. Kumari Sarita Prashant from RN College Pandal, Madhubani. Today, I am presenting my research work, and its title name is Solid State Kinetics and Thermal Studies of Iron Third Complex with SIF base derived from fibrin 1234 thiotrizole. Now, I will explain the synthesis, thermal behavior, and kinetic study of the iron third complex in a simple way. Now, I would like to tell about the abstract or overview of this research. This study focuses on understanding how an iron third complex behaves when it is heated. I prepared the complex, studied its thermal decomposition using TGA, analyzed its kinetic using the Freeman-Carroll and Doyle-Sacco method. These methods help us calculate activation energy, reaction order, and stability of the complex. The result give useful information for application in chemistry and material science. Now the next slide shows the research objective. And the first objective of this research to prepare and characterize the iron third complex. The thermal gravimetric analysis TGA will be performed at a heating rate of 10 degrees Celsius per minute, which allows for detailed observation of decomposition stages and activation energies. Kinetic study will focus on analyzing the decomposition stage using both Freeman-Carroll and Doyle-Sacco method to determine activation energy and reaction order accurately. Now I would like to tell about the formation of ligand. The ligand used in this study is fibrino 1234 thiotrizole. It is also called ATT. It is formed by reacting phenyl isothiocyanate with hydrogen. The reaction is carried out in ethanol under reflux. Then sodium nitrite and hydrochloric acid help in forming the thiotrizole ring. This ligand is important because it binds well with the metal ions like iron. And this is the chemical reaction. Now the next slide shows the introduction of complex. SIP bases are very important ligands in coordination chemistry because they form stable complex with transition metal, and they are widely used in catalysis, medicine, and material science. The iron third complex are particularly important because they take part in electron transfer, catalytic process, and biological system. Now I would like to tell about the preparation of iron third complex. SHIP bases are very important ligands in coordination chemistry. They form stable complexes with transition metal and are widely used in catalysis, medicine, and material science. Iron third complexes are particularly important because they take part in electron transfer, catalytic process, and biological system. To prepare the iron third complex, the ATT ligand and ferric chloride were dissolved in ethanol. Both solutions were mixed and refluxed for 30 minutes. A dark brown precipitate was formed, which indicate the formation of the complex. The product was filtered, washed, and dried properly. This complex was then used for thermogravimetric analysis. Now this slide shows the introduction to TGA. The TGA experiment was performed at a heating rate of 10 degrees Celsius per minute in an air atmosphere. Thermogravimetric analysis or analyzer measure how the mass of a sample change when it is heated. It helps us understand thermal stability, decomposition stages, and the strength of metal ligand bonds. In this study, TGA was used to observe how the iron third complex behave when it is heated in different temperature. Now this slide shows the thermogravimetric analysis setup, and this is the thermogravimetric analyzer. You can see the picture. The thermogravimetric analysis was performed at a heating rate 10 degrees Celsius per minute in an air atmosphere. The instrument measure weight loss of the sample as temperature increases. This setup identify different decomposition step of the complex very clearly. Now I would like to tell about the different decomposition stages. The first stage occurs between 100 to 200 degrees Celsius where the complex loses moisture and chloride ion, resulting in a significant mass loss that indicate initial thermal instability. In the second stage occurring from 200 to 250 degrees Celsius, the ligand undergoes breakdown leading to substantial mass loss, marking a critical transition in the decomposition process of the complex, and the final stage begins around 260 degrees Celsius where the formation of Fe2O3 residue takes place, with residual mass data confirming the completion of thermal decomposition of iron third complex. Now this is the TGA curve. You can see here the TGA curve shows how the weight increases with temperature. The initial weight at 180 degrees Celsius is 0.96118 milligram and the final weight at 260 degrees Celsius 0.20817 milligram. The smooth shape of the TG curve shows that the decomposition is uniform and complete. Now the next slide shows the kinetic analysis. Kinetic analysis play crucial role in understanding the thermal decomposition of iron third complexes, particularly using the Freeman-Carroll and Doyle-Sacco method to determine reaction mechanism like activation energy and reaction order. Now this slide shows the Freeman-Carroll method. The Freeman-Carroll method evaluates the kinetic parameter of thermal decomposition, focusing on the activation energy and reaction order by analyzing mass loss data from thermal analysis. This method uses TGA data to calculate activation energy and reaction order. By plotting the required graph, we obtain straight line. And this is the Freeman-Carroll calculation table. You can see here. Now this is the Freeman-Carroll graph. From the Freeman-Carroll graph plot, the slope corresponds to an activation energy. It is approx 12.99 kilocalorie per mole, and the intercept indicates an order of reaction 0.1. It is approx 0 order reaction, and the linearity of the plot confirms a single step kinetic process. Now this slide shows the Doyle-Sacco method. The Doyle-Sacco method employs a non-isothermal approach to analyze the thermal decomposition kinetic, allowing the detailed insight into activation energy and reaction order under varying temperature. This method uses specific equation to derive activation energy, reaction order and frequency factor. This method is very useful for evaluating thermal stability under continuous heating. Now I would like to tell about the Doyle-Sacco results. The activation energy. The calculated activation energy is approximately 12.00 kilocalorie per mole, indicating the energy required for the reaction to proceed at a given temperature, and the reaction order is found to be near 0, suggesting that the rate of reaction is largely independent of the concentration of reactant during this stage. The entropy of activation is calculated to be minus 210.65 entropy unit at 523 Kelvin, reflecting the disorder associated with the transition state during the reaction process, and the frequency factor estimated at 1.026 into 10 to the power 2 second inverse indicate the rate at which the reactant transform into product, providing insight into the kinetic of thermal decomposition. Now this is the kinetic table comparison. You can see here both methods gave close agreement with an activation energy of about 12 to 13 kilocalorie per mole and a reaction order near 0. The frequency factor was calculated as 1.026 into 10 to the power 2 second inverse, and the entropy of activation was found to be minus 210.65 entropy unit at 523 Kelvin, suggesting a highly ordered transition state. Now, importance of thermal and kinetic studies. Studying Thermal behavior help identify how stable a metal complex is at a different temperature. Thermal analysis also show how the complex breaks down into smaller parts. Kinetic studies help calculate activation energy and reaction order. These values help us understand the strength of metal ligand bonding and the nature of the decomposition process. Now my future research. Future research will focus on the conducting comparative study of cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc analog to evaluate their thermal and kinetic properties alongside iron. Third, investigation the spectral and magnetic properties of these complex will provide insight into their structure and bonding, revealing correlation that may enhance material design. And then additionally examine the antimicrobial and catalytic activity of iron third SIP base complex is crucial role to understanding their potential application in diverse field including environmental and medicinal chemistry. Now thank you for your attention.